If you're looking for a serious blend of performance and luxury, there are only a handful of cars in the world seriously worth considering, and this is one of them. This is Bentley's Flying Spur. It's built in the UK and sold predominantly in the US and China. It comes in two versions, and this is the V8, the affordable one. Well, affordable for some. It has a price tag of over 300,000 so not surprisingly, it's a pretty rare sight on Irish roads. When Bentley cut the number of cylinders from 12 to 8, the idea was to create a new, more economical version that allowed them to price it slightly lower. And the Flying Spur V8 costs about 10% less to buy and to run than its more powerful sibling. The distinctive and purposeful Bentley grille dominates the front of the car, while overall the Flying Spur is a unique blend of sculpted, sleek and elegant coachwork. No one does interiors quite like Bentley, and the immaculate materials and handcrafted workmanship that define the car's character are evident throughout. There are some exquisite details, including the veneered picnic tables, refrigerated bottle cooler and the luxurious boot carpet. In terms of space, it is practically residential inside. Backseat passengers are treated to generous legroom, and even passengers in excess of 6 feet will have no trouble stretching out. This car may be the least powerful of the two versions, but it is certainly no slouch. Underneath the bonnet is an Audi-developed 4-litre twin-turbo V8 engine, and it produces over 500 bhp and 660 newton-metres of torque. Now what that means is it can get this car from 0 to 100 in 5.2 seconds. Given the fact that this car comes in at just under 2.5 tonnes, that's a phenomenal speed for this car, and it can also do a top speed of 295 kilometres per hour. Now, in terms of fuel consumption, and yes, if this is a consideration, then this probably isn't the car for you. Bentley reckon it does 25.9 miles per gallon or 10.9 litres per 100, and with CO2 emissions of 245, it's right up there at the top end of motor tax. Now, while the Flying Spur is no sports car, if you wanted a sports car you'd buy the Bentley GT. It is really, really nice to drive. On corners you will feel just the sheer bulk of the car, but there's a permanent four-wheel drive system, so the grip is so good it'll just push you through those corners anyway. The steering is really nicely weighted, and this 8-speed gearbox is just seamless. As expected, this car is beautifully hushed inside, and it is incredibly comfortable to drive, and the air suspension just soaks up all of the bumps on the road. My only criticism, and yes, it is possible to have a criticism in a car this expensive, is there are 4 modes on the air suspension, but there isn't any great difference between them. They range from comfort to sport, but they all actually feel the same. The only way to test a Bentley is probably from the rear seat, but I'm going to stick with the driver's seat for the moment and just listen to that lovely V8. The Bentley's Flying Spur V8 is the most efficient and affordable version of this luxury saloon, but it is no compromise. Despite the lower price tag, it is crammed with the lavish and luxury trimmings you'd expect from a Bentley, and the smaller engine does nothing to lessen the appeal. If anything, the Flying Spur V8 is simply just a greener shade of luxury. Geraldine Herbert for Independent.ie.